June of the third.
Yes, we have another.
We have everybody present here. Meeting was properly announced. I'll entertain the motion to approve the agenda. Do you have that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion is approved. Motion to approve the minutes from September 20th.
The most updated ones were filed with the clerk's office. I had to make a couple corrections to the spelling of Supervisor Paler's name.
Okay.
And I added a PM to 2 o'clock.
Is everybody aware of those changes? I think they might have been in what you got in your packet. So, the appropriate motion would be a motion to approve as corrected if you believe they're accurate, or if you have something to add, go ahead and add it.
Motion to approve as corrected.
Second.
Take your choice on the second.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving into number 6, review information collected as part of investigation on the ethics complaint filed against Supervisors Francis Demlow and Supervisor Barbara Waugh with regard to probable cause.
I had passed out a little outline to the committee members. There's another copy, a couple more copies of it here for those who might be interested in it. Just to go through what we had done last meeting, talk about what we've collected since. Back in September 20, the board did find it had jurisdiction, and there was a basis to the complaint. But the board also raised some concerns it had with what had been in the media, whether this information that had been released was effectively the same information that had been previously released by the media. Hopefully folks wanted to look at that before you scheduled the hearing. And probable cause, I just want to review that. That means you have sufficient reason based on the known facts that the ethics code has been violated by the people alleged to have violated it. This isn't a hearing at this point in time. I want to make that very clear. What we're trying to determine is whether we can schedule a hearing. And again, the board was concerned that if all the information that had been in the letter that had been sent to the board members had already been public, maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense to have a hearing. To look into that, Jerry contacted the media to see what was published and when. And it appears, based on Jerry's contact, Channel 3 in Madison released the data on 10/8, 8/10, excuse me, of 18. It appears it was based on an interview with Casey and Mark Hamburg in the same day as its release, based on search warrants in Dane County. I attached the article because I think we're going to want to talk about that a little bit, so it's attached to the little packet I put together, as well as the notice of investigation that I put out on behalf of the board as to what we'd be looking into. We contacted Ms. Waugh by email earlier this week. She got back to me very promptly. And she responded to me. Today I also received a correspondence that I passed out to all of you relating to the communication I had with Ms. Waugh, and I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. In fact, here's the information I had sent her and her response. She had it signed by Ms. Demlow to make it clear that Ms. Demlow concurs with what she had said. Basically, what Ms. Wass said is they typed up the letter together in the late afternoon of Friday, August 10. They put the letter in the supervisor's mailbox at 4:25, August 10. Dropped off the letter at the Times Reporter around 4:45, August 10. So that's the information that she shared with me in response to the 10 questions that are in our minutes and in the notice of investigation. Again, it's not, don't take this as truth or falsity. We're not looking into having a hearing right now. We're looking at whether you have probable cause to believe you should proceed to a hearing. In regard to whether the same information was published in the media, which was your concern, was in the letter, I think it makes some sense for us to just go through and do a quick comparison. Board members, why don't you take a couple minutes to read through that article? So you can get a few, I have a synopsis of it, but I think it's appropriate for you to
have the article attached.
Oh, okay, it would be in my, I guess some.
You want the one from Channel 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one from Channel 3.
Right.
I guess I'm out of outlines here for you. Oh, it's in here. Oh, that's your copy for what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yes.
Right.
Anybody else need one? The front page. Is that this one right here?
Yeah, that's that one.
That's the news that I received back from Channel 3 in Madison.
You can note on the face of that document that apparently the article was at one point published and then updated. Posted August 10, it says right on its face, and then updated at 9:08 a.m. and then updated at 7:27. So apparently there were double publications that day.
They did not spell it out in this article that I received back from, but I believe it showed on the 12 o'clock news, and again at the 6 o'clock, and again at the 10 o'clock. It showed 3 times that day.
Everybody had a chance to get through it, or still need a little bit of time? As long as we're doing this, I think you should take a look at the letter to the board too, because that's what we want to compare. Whether that letter to the board expanded on or covered the same items that were covered in the article and newscast, which is essentially the same.
Finish with that? I don't have a copy, so-
Yeah, I attach it to the outline too, Jerry.
Oh, okay. That's- Terry's was right here, handy.
Yep, yeah, right there. Everybody had a chance to read through the letter? Now, I kind of outlined, at least broke down what I thought was covered in each in the outline that I handed out for purposes of discussion. The article covered the notion that the investigation was having them look into a laptop used by the clerk. There was a data breach. There were search warrants concerning computer crimes that were issued. The clerk was not a confirmed suspect under that article. The clerk has unexplained access to key software. The county's hired an investigator to investigate employment issues. Shank has been investigating the activity on the computer system. There is a specific number of records that may have been compromised that were listed in the articles. There were listed in the affected departments. County manager confirmed the person responsible was a county official but did not name that person. The person no longer has access. Some information of unauthorized access has obtained passwords and other personal information. It's likely the information didn't leave the county. The breach should not affect the election. Efforts have been made to fix the breach. And then one of the county board members made a comment about the situation breaking his heart. No question, pretty wide scope of what's covered in that communication having to do with the issue involving the breach of information. Now, if you look at the letter to the board, there's a mention of approximately the same number of affected records, 250,000 plus. Mention that the board is pursuing the removal of the clerk. I did not see that in the article. Mention of a major allegation against the clerk. Mention that there are no allegations that the clerk had access. Statement that merely having access, if that's a violation, then a connection with the administrator, and a statement that the administrator should be suspended and investigated. Based on the limited facts before us, the question is, do we think the information addressed in the letter is completely covered by the news report. Effectively, what you guys asked us to look into for this purpose was, did everybody know everything out of the report, or has something been added? And that's up for you guys to determine. If you think that this article mooted out the letter effectively, then we shouldn't be going forward. If you think there's different stuff in the letter, we probably have probable cause.
The one thing I just see in here is the pursuit of removal of the county clerk. I don't see that in the press release.
And
They don't specifically name the county clerk in the press release, but the fact that A, looking into laptops used by clerk, and D, clerk not a confirmed suspect, they certainly allude to the fact that it's the clerk.
Well, and could that be part of the problem with the disclosure? That it kind of it confirms what could be a suspicion?
When did this first air, you said? At noon that day? Noon?
So, doing the probable cause analysis, there are three things that the complaint raises. Again, we're not having a hearing right now. We're just looking at whether there's enough that we think we should maybe have a hearing about this to find out more facts. The complaint raises three claims. Demlo and Law were bound to uphold and carry out efficiently and impartially the laws of the state of Wisconsin. Demlo and Law, as Adams County officials, knowingly disclosed and permitted the disclosure of confidential information to persons not lawfully authorized to receive such privileged information. And Demlo and Law attempted to use their influence to gain advantage for City of Lippach. We should make a determination. We've already said there's a reasonable basis in the complaint to believe that. We should make a determination as to whether we think there's probable cause to go forward on each of those, or which one of those, if any. And your choices today, of course, should the matter go forward? If not, you have two options. You can say, get me some more information, we want to look into this a little further. Or you can determine the matter should be dismissed, or you can determine that the matter, if you have probable cause, the matter should go to a hearing, and then we'll talk about what would go into a hearing.
I think before we get to that, there's a letter to you dated today, October 11th, signed by Ms. Law and Mrs. Demlo. And I'd like to address that because it questions some of the ethics of the board members, especially Ms. Olson and myself. From myself, there's a question in the letter. I don't know if you've seen it, Mr. Kowarski.
No, I just got it today. I don't think
Okay.
he's had a copy.
The letter indicates that, I'll read it, the second paragraph. Mr. Grabarski and Mr. Croak have a long-term friendship and socialize routinely together. We have heard rumor that perhaps Mr. Croak has from time to time assisted Mr. Grabarski in prior legal matters while in his practice. So let me address the second first. I have never represented Mr. Grabarski in any legal matter that I'm aware of. I represented a personal representative that his wife was involved in an estate, I believe, probably 10, 12 years ago. But I don't think she was, huh?
Her sister.
Her sister, yeah, okay. But not Mr. Grabarski, and not his wife either. So, that's the second one. The first of long-term friendship and socialize. I have been to Mr. Grabarski's house for a party probably 8, 10 years ago, and I think I was in